Hello from Earth. When you look up at the night sky, you might see a small reddish dot among the stars. That dot is Mars, our planetary neighbor. It's the fourth planet from the Sun, just one spot farther out than we are. For centuries, humans have been fascinated by this world, giving it the nickname the Red Planet because of the iron oxide, or rust, that covers its surface, making it look like a vast rusty desert. This unique color has captured our imagination, making us wonder what it would be like to stand on its surface and look up at a sky that's a different color than our own. It represents a brand new world, a place full of unanswered questions and incredible potential for discovery. The biggest reason people are so interested in going to Mars is the search for life. We want to know if life has ever existed anywhere else in the universe, and Mars is one of the best places to start looking. Billions of years ago, scientists believe Mars was much warmer and wetter, with rivers, lakes, and maybe even an ocean. These are the same conditions that allowed life to begin here on Earth. By studying the rocks and soil on Mars, we might find fossils of tiny ancient organisms. Finding even the smallest sign of past life would completely change our understanding of our place in the cosmos. It would mean that life isn't a unique accident of Earth, but something that could happen anywhere. Beyond the search for ancient microbes, going to Mars is about securing the future of humanity. Right now, all of us are living on one single planet. If a major catastrophe were to happen here, like a large asteroid impact, it could be the end of our species. Having a second home, a settlement on another world, would be like having a backup plan. It would make humanity a multi-planetary species, ensuring our long-term survival. This is a huge, ambitious goal, but it's one of the most powerful motivators for space exploration. It's about looking ahead, not just for ourselves, but for all the generations that will come after us. And finally, there is the simple, undeniable spirit of exploration. It's the same drive that pushed early explorers to cross oceans and climb the highest mountains. We are a curious species. We want to see what's over the next hill, or in this case, what's on the next planet. Going to Mars is the ultimate adventure. It will test our technology, our intelligence, and our ability to work together to achieve something truly monumental. The challenges are enormous, but the rewards, the knowledge, the new technologies, and the inspiration it would provide for everyone back on Earth are immeasurable. It's about pushing the boundaries of what is possible. So, you've decided you want to go to Mars. What's the first thing you'll need when you step out of your spaceship? You'll need to breathe. The air on Mars is very, very thin, about 100 times thinner than Earth's atmosphere, and it's made mostly of carbon dioxide, which is not something we can breathe to survive. To solve this, scientists are designing amazing machines that can pull in the Martian air and separate the molecules. One such device, called MOXIE, has already been tested on Mars. It works like a mechanical tree, taking in carbon dioxide and producing pure, breathable oxygen. Future, larger versions of this technology could produce enough oxygen for an entire habitat, and even to make rocket fuel for the trip home. Next up is water. Just like on Earth, water is absolutely essential for life. We need it to drink, to grow food, and for sanitation. The good news is that Mars isn't completely dry. We have discovered that there is a lot of water ice frozen at the planet's poles and even buried underground in other areas. Astronauts on Mars won't be able to just turn on a tap, though. They will need special drilling equipment to access this subsurface ice. Once they have it, they can melt it down and then purify it to make it safe for drinking and other uses. Every single drop will be precious, so there will be advanced recycling systems to clean and reuse wastewater, just like we do on the International Space Station. With air and water sorted, it's time to think about food. You can't pack enough sandwiches for a mission that could last for years. The solution is to become Martian farmers. Astronauts will need to grow their own food inside protected environments called greenhouses or biodomes. These structures will have controlled lighting, temperature, and humidity to help plants thrive. The soil on Mars doesn't have the nutrients that plants need, so astronauts will have to use a technique called hydroponics, where plants are grown in nutrient-rich water instead of soil. They might grow things like lettuce, tomatoes, and potatoes, foods that are nutritious and grow relatively quickly, providing a fresh and vital food source millions of miles from Earth. Finally, you need a safe place to live. Mars is a harsh environment. It gets incredibly cold, with temperatures dropping well below -100 degrees Celsius. The planet also lacks a strong magnetic field and a thick atmosphere like Earth's, which means it gets blasted with dangerous space radiation. To protect against the cold and radiation, the first Martian homes will need to be very well insulated and shielded. Some ideas include building habitats that are partially or completely underground, using the Martian soil itself as a protective layer. Others involve three-dimensional printing structures, using local Martian materials, creating sturdy shelters that can withstand the extreme conditions of our new planetary home. Getting to Mars is not like taking a quick flight. It's a long and complex journey that will take about 7 to 9 months, depending on the alignment of the planets. Earth and Mars are both moving, so we have to launch at just the right time to travel the shortest, most efficient path. This launch window only opens up once every 26 months. The spacecraft for this journey will have to be more than just a cockpit. It will need to be a temporary home for the astronauts. It will have living quarters, a place for them to exercise, a lab for conducting experiments, and robust life support systems to keep them healthy for the entire trip through deep space. Once you arrive, your daily life will be very different from life on Earth. Gravity on Mars is only about 38% as strong as it is here. This means you would feel much lighter. If you weigh 150 pounds on Earth, you'd only weigh about 57 pounds on Mars. This would make it easy to jump high and lift heavy objects, but it would also be a challenge for your body. Without the constant pull of strong gravity, your muscles and bones would start to weaken. To stay healthy, astronauts will need to follow a strict exercise routine every single day, using special equipment that creates resistance to keep their bodies strong in the low-gravity environment. Whenever you want to go outside your habitat, you can't just open the door and take a walk. You will have to put on a specially designed spacesuit. This suit is your personal spaceship. It provides you with oxygen to breathe, protects you from the extreme cold, and shields you from harmful solar radiation. These Martian spacesuits will need to be more durable and flexible than the ones used for spacewalks in orbit, as astronauts will be walking, bending, and working on a rocky surface. Getting into the suit and preparing for an extravehicular activity, or EVA, will be a careful process that takes a lot of time, making every trip outside a major planned event. Communication with home will also be a unique experience. Because Mars is so far away, radio signals take a long time to travel between the two planets. The delay can be anywhere from about 4 to 24 minutes each way, depending on where Earth and Mars are in their orbits. This means you can't have a normal, real-time conversation like a phone call. You would send a message, a video, an email, or a voice recording, and then have to wait for the reply. It would be more like exchanging letters or text messages with a significant time lag, requiring a whole new level of patience for astronauts and their mission control teams back on Earth. Life on Mars will be full of incredible sights and strange new phenomena. For one, you wouldn't just have one moon in the sky, you would have two. Mars's moons are named Phobos and Deimos, and they are much smaller and more irregularly shaped than our moon. They look more like captured asteroids than perfect spheres. Phobos zips across the sky in less than 8 hours, meaning you could see it rise and set multiple times in a single Martian day. Seeing these two tiny moons move against a backdrop of unfamiliar stars would be a constant and beautiful reminder that you are truly on another world, far from the familiar sights of home. However, the Martian weather can be extreme and dangerous. The planet is famous for its massive dust storms. While the wind speeds aren't as powerful as in hurricanes on Earth due to the thin air, these storms can grow to be enormous, sometimes covering the entire planet in a thick haze of red dust. This dust can block out sunlight for weeks, which would be a major problem for solar panels that power the habitat. The fine dust could also get into sensitive equipment and cause it to fail. Martian settlers will need to design their systems to be resilient, with backup power and filters to survive these planet-engulfing weather events. Adjusting to the Martian calendar would also be a fun challenge. A day on Mars, called a sol, is very similar to an Earth day, lasting just a little longer at about 24 hours and 39 minutes. This would be a fairly easy adjustment. The Martian year, however, is much longer. Because Mars is farther from the Sun, it takes 687 Earth days to complete one orbit. This means that a year on Mars is almost twice as long as a year on Earth. The seasons would also be twice as long, leading to long cold winters and long mild summers. Celebrating your birthday on Mars would mean waiting a very long time between parties. So, the question is, would you want to go? Would you be willing to leave behind the blue skies, green trees, and vast oceans of Earth for a new life on the red planet? Living on Mars would be a life of incredible challenge, but also one of immense purpose. You would be a pioneer, pushing the boundaries of human existence and helping to build a future for our species among the stars. Imagine standing on that red soil, looking up at a faint, distant blue dot in the sky, our Earth. and knowing you are part of an incredible new chapter in human history. What do you think life would be like?